Hello, it's Kate from Inkstampshare.ink. I've got a really fun fold card to show you how to make today. It's this one, and it's like it's kind of a little springy, I don't know, springy sit-up card. There's probably a name for this card, I don't know what it is. I learned how to make it many years ago, and I'd kind of forgotten all about it until I found the template in a stash of instructions that I keep for inspiration, and I thought I'd have a go and use the Magnolia Lane papers, stamps and dies from Stampin' Up. So I love this, and I've just been to a big team event this past weekend gone, and I made it for a wow make and take for the team, the wider team I'm in. So I had to prep 55 kits, and we all went around the room making these different cards, and this was my one, and it's great. I loved it, so I thought I'd share it with you. Right, so I'll show you how we make it. It's not that difficult, it's easier than it looks. So to begin with, this is what I gave everybody. We have got a piece of the Magnolia Lane designer series paper, and this measures 5 inches by 10 inches, and you can choose which side you want to show out. And then I've got a piece of the matching cardstock in Petal Pink, which is 5 inches by 10 inches as well. They're both the same. So there's a little bit of scoring that happens. I'll show you what I do. So I'll just bring my scorer trimmer in. I have it down here. You can see the measurements at the top. Let's bring that one out. And there we go. Can you see? There, that's a bit better, isn't it? Okay, so the cardstock first. Now with the long side at the top, I'm going to score it at 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to score it again at 5 inches. So 2.5 and 5 inches. Just grab my pencil. And then at 7.5 inches, I'm going to make a little pencil mark here and here. And then I'm going to turn the cardstock around so the short side is at the top. This is 5 inches, so I want halfway along, so 2.5 inches. I'm going to pop it at the top, and then I'm going to make another little pencil line there. Okay, so you can see what I've got. I've got a line here and a line here and some pencil marks. Now the next thing I'm going to do is score a line from this first score line to that pencil mark. So just kind of line it up in your trimmer. Let me just move up so you can see. So where that is, bring that one right over there. And you're going to make a diagonal line, score line, all the way up and down there. And you can do the same on both sides. So just line that bottom one up with the top one and score it down. Okay, so you've got these lines, and if I just burnish them, you can use your bone folder as well and make those scores pretty good like that. And then at the top here, we're going to make some more, we're going to do some more. So we're actually going to, from this line to this line and down, we're going to cut that off. We're going to chop the ears off, if you like. So let's line this up accurately. That one off. And then the same on the other side. And that's all the hard bit done. There we go. Ooh. So now you're going to end up with this kind of thing. Just give it a good crease. Okay, so you'll see how it works. Now, I'm going to do the same process all over again with the designer series paper. Almost the same. So, score it at 2.5. Now, when I score the paper, I don't want to score it as hard as the cardstock because I don't want it to split. It's not as thick as the card. So, 2.5 and 5. And then bend it so you can see where it is. There we are. And then let's make sure I've done that right. The right way. So no, that was it, wasn't it? Sorry. 2.5 and 5. Yeah, that's what we've done. And then at 7.5, I'm going to put up our pencil mark again. Make sure I got that right. Here and here. And then at 2.5 at the top, we're going to pop that pencil mark again. You can rub these out afterwards. Okay. So from that pencil mark here, I can now not see because of the pattern on the paper. Let's make that really there. Okay, let's chop that off. Oh no, I'm going to score it, not chop it off. So there it is. And I'm going to bring it down to this first score line. And we're going to score that. So I have that fold. I'm going to do the same on the other side with the other pencil line, which is there. Ta-da! And then we're going to glue it all together before we chop the top off. I found it's the easiest way is to glue it before we chop the top of the DSP off. It makes matching it all up a little bit easier at the end. I do find it easier to score it separately than just scoring it, gluing it together and then scoring it, because you just don't get it to fold properly if you do it that way. So we need to glue it together afterwards. So let's put the glue on. Going to cover all of it, so we need to make sure we put it in the right places. Don't need as much as that. I seem to have used a lot. Oh, there's something going on outside. Like so. And we're going to stick it on. This is the fun bit. And you always get a bit of wriggle room with the Tombow glue, which is great. Just stick it down with your hand. And then you should be able to refold it. Just grab my bone folder. And do a really sharp crease. One there. Ooh, that has actually moved it. I didn't use my bone folder last time. That's probably not good, is it? See if I can take it off. Okay, learn from my mistakes, guys. Obviously hadn't stuck properly before I did it. There we go. Make sure it's glued down before you start scoring too hard and moving the card and the paper. Okay, so let's do that again. Like that way. That's better. And that way. And then that way. And bring it in. Just use my nail. I think it'd be a bit better, a bit more gentle. I was getting a bit aggressive with the bone folder. Okay, so that's the base. This is where I'm going to chop the ears off. It just means it matches really well at the top rather than having a bit hanging over. We don't want it messy. So I'm going to bring the scorer back in, the trimmer back in. It's literally just to chop these bits off. You can use your scissors if you prefer. I'm going to try and do it with my blade though. Oh, not bad, I think. Not bad at all. Very happy with that. So here we go. We've got our card. And now it's time to decorate it. This is the fun part. Okay, so pop that one out of the way. So in here, I've stamped out 6 Magnolias ready. This is my kit, so I'm just showing you one that I've already got made from my leftover kit. I had a couple. There was 53 of us stamping this, and I think I had a spare or 2. So these are the Magnolia Lane stamps. I've been stamping all sorts, look in here. Beautiful, stunning. And this is the little Magnolia stamp that I used, this one here. So I've stamped this one out in Memento black ink 6 times for my card. So I've already stamped it, so I don't need to stamp it again, but I wanted to show you which stamp it was. So that's that. You get, it's a 2 box stamp with this one. So you get the big one, the leaf, the sentiments, this lovely flourish and lots of lovely words for this one. And then I'm going to colour it in using some of the alcohol blend pens, my most favourite pens to use. Right, okay, so they come in 2 shades of each colour, and I'm using the light flirty flamingo, petal pink and mossy meadow, and the colours in the paper are the petal pink and mossy meadow. So I am just going to use the petal pink at the base of the petal, the flirty flamingo at the base of the petal, give a little bit more intensity in the colour like that. And I always use the darkest first with blend pens, and then I'm going to go into the petal pink and I'm just going to blend it in. Now if you look at magnolias, very often the tips are white, so I'm leaving the tips, I'm not going right up to the edge. And that's as technical as it gets. And then the light mossy meadow, just colouring the green parts. It's really quick. There we go. So I just wanted to show you how I got my magnolia to look like that. That's what I did. Okay, and then I cut them all out, and I've done that in advance so that you don't have to sit and watch me cutting out. So they're all here. Now cutting them out, I've got the die, and the dies are these. They go with Magnolia Lane stamp set. They're stunning, and they're all in it. Look, there's another one, and there's some of the leaves. You can see what they look like when the leaves are cut out. Yeah, and this is the small die that goes around this stamped image. If I pop it here, you can see how well that fits on there, just perfectly. And it cuts those out. It also cuts out some of the designer series paper petal magnolias as well, which is brilliant. They're absolutely, it's just made, it's just wonderful. So those go with those, and if you buy them as a bundle, you get 10% off, which is always a bonus. So I would definitely encourage you to do that if you were thinking of getting one or the other. Save the money. Okay, and these are the other bits that are in the kit. So you basically, the rest is pretty simple. We're going to put our mossy meadow green panel on. This piece is, it's a new glue, and I'm getting it everywhere because I'm squeezing too hard. This is 3 1/4 inches square, and I'm popping this one on the front with a little gap. Leave a nice even border. Oh, thank heaven for that. Our rubbish lorry has just been, and it's been so noisy. I'm sure you can hear it all. And then a whisper white panel, which is also square, 3 inches, just a 1/4 inch smaller, to pop on there. So match like that. And then I've got one little bit of stamping to do before we put our magnolias on. And a little bit of heat embossing. You see, I've embossed this in white embossing powder, and it really makes it pop. I did try doing it in the white craft ink, and it didn't have quite the same effect. So I did like it in the embossing powder, so I'm going to do it that way. So I've got my Versamark, I've got my embossing buddy, and I just need the stamp. So I've taken the thanks out of the Magnolia set. There's also another lovely word that fits on here. and it's Hello. And that's another lovely one you could use just as well on there. So ink up your stamp in your clear Versamark ink. Use your little embossing buddy on your black card. I often forget to use this tool and I always regret it. It's invaluable. It's a little powder filled bag and you rub it over the card surface that you want to emboss and it takes off any of those oily residue from your fingers or anything like that that your embossing powder sticks to where you don't want it to be, and causes a problem. So it's a brilliant little thing. Right, stamp it in the middle. There you go, you can't really see it yet until I pop the white embossing powder on. I've got my tray. I do tend to keep my white and clear embossing powder in a tub though, because when it goes in here, oh, this has got a bit grubby. When it goes in here, I find it gets contaminated with other colours, as you can probably see that's happened. And you don't want a white one with other colours on. Yeah, not bad at all. I really do think the embossing buddy helps. Okay, so we've got thanks on there. Oh, that's a bit noisy, isn't it? Right. You can always use a brush to get off any spare flecks of powder that you don't want. Now I'm going to heat it. It's a bit noisy, so I do apologise. It's not too bad. It's not for long. Right, here we go. I'm going to melt that embossing powder and make it look all shiny. Looks like a little hairdryer, this heated craft tool. It isn't. Don't be tempted to try that. It's a proper heat tool. I've got a number of these heat tools and Stampin' Up do a brilliant one, but I've got a number of them. Right. So there we go. I think that is done. Goes all glossy and hard. So there you go. There's the thanks. A little bit better, but that's okay. Right, now comes the fun part. We get to stick our magnolias on. We just got to work out where we want them to go, like this. And then we don't need to worry about colouring the stems because we're going to cover those up like that. So what I might do is just stick the first one down with a bit of glue. So we can start to get an idea of where it's going to go. Like that. Like that. Like that. So I can stick the other two. Swap a little bit. Oh, we had so much fun at this big team event on Saturday. It was great. And there's so much inspiration. Everyone takes samples of cards and boxes and all sorts of paper crafting projects to inspire each other. We got to make 4 different make and takes like this. And then we had a big project kit. We've made another 4 projects as well. It's just such a fun time, and you get to see all the people you connect with and have giggles all day long. That's not straight, is it? I'm too busy talking. That's a bit better. And it's just so much fun. I tell you, being a Stampin' Up demonstrator was one of the best decisions I ever made. The community is something else, honestly. So if you just love that kind of stuff, it's definitely the way to go. Oh, that's going to stick up. And obviously, you know, you're going to get all your products at a discount as well, aren't you? So what more could you want? Really. Lots of fun to be had. Right, let's hope I haven't got the stalks sticking out. No, I think that works. Oh, I love this. Just love the magnolias, to be honest. I hope you're not sick of me using them. So let's pop that there. There you go. Okay, that's it done. Straighten that up. So we also did swaps. So there was a big group of us, and often we swap with everybody, but there's such a large group, we thought we'd just swap in groups of 10. So that's the next thing I'll put on my blog probably after this, is my swaps and the swaps that I made and the swaps I received. So watch out for that. I'm going to put a little bit of a blob of glue here to hold the card down in the middle to make it stand up. Just put my hand in until it's glued. So you might be wondering where you write your note on the card and who it's from. Let's just make sure that that is straight. And it's not really very straight, is it? It's annoyed me, that has. There, that's much better. So you would write, on this type of card, you would write your note. So, great Auntie Betty, thank you so much for whatever you did, or whatever you want to write, you would write it in this bit on the back here. Love that. Love it. I've got lots of thank yous to give out, so these are absolutely ideal for a different card. I hope you love them. I absolutely adore these magnolias in this paper. Now, I used all of the different papers in my kits that I gave out, and they all work equally as well, so don't be worried about that. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've got the measurements there, and that you might have a go. If you'd like to buy any of the products I've used, they're all from Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and you can find my shop on my site at inkstampshare.ink. Hope you like it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you do. Oh, and don't forget to click the little bell down below for notifications of future videos. I'll pop the link to my site there too. Have a happy crafty day. Bye.